A shift is already in motion. The night sky holds a secret, and the moon is its messenger. Few notice, but the chosen ones always feel it. The pull, the weight, the quiet whisper that something within them is about to move. The moon has always been more than a light in the dark. It is a mirror of our inner cycles. Each phase opens a doorway, endings, beginnings, truths rising from the shadows. For most people, this is dismissed as coincidence, but for those set apart, it is a call to awaken. In this video, you will hear what many overlook: the deeper lessons hidden in the moon's phases, lessons drawn from ancient Shaolin practice, where every breath and every movement is in harmony with the universe. You will learn how emptiness prepares the way for renewal, how silence can sharpen your inner weapon, how discipline can free you from the grip of desire when the lunar tide stirs emotions you don't understand. I will also reveal why the next phase is unlike the ones before. The shift it carries is not random, it aligns with patterns long studied in ancient traditions. These teachings show that when the moon changes, your reality bends with it if you are prepared. Stay with me until the end, because the final truth is not about the moon itself, but about you, your hidden strength, your untapped clarity, and the life waiting to emerge when you walk in rhythm with the eternal cycles of nature. This is Shaolin Soulfire. Welcome. If you seek alignment, mastery, and the fire to endure, subscribe now and walk this path with us. The journey begins here. There is a silence that comes before every great change. Many mistake it for emptiness, for loss, for something missing. But in the Shaolin path, this silence is the preparation. It is the pause that sharpens the blade before it strikes, the still water that reflects the sky with perfect clarity. When the moon begins to wane, its light does not vanish without purpose. It retreats so we may see the spaces we have filled with what no longer belongs, the old thoughts that keep us circling, the attachments that cling to us like dust on the robe, the stagnant energy that weighs the spirit down until the body forgets how to move freely. Letting go is not weakness. It is a discipline greater than holding on. Anyone can cling to memories, fears, or desires. Few can open their hands and release them. In Shaolin training, the body learns to unclench through breath, through stillness, through discipline. The same lesson is written in the moon itself. Think of a warrior carrying too many weapons. At first it feels like strength, but when the time comes to move with speed and precision, the weight becomes his downfall. The master carries only what is essential. This is how life must be lived. The waning moon whispers the same truth. Do not fear what fades. Do not resist the space that opens when something leaves. That space is where renewal begins, where the unseen has room to take form. Emptiness is not a wound, it is a clearing, a field waiting for the seed, a mind ready for clarity, a heart open to something higher. This is why the chosen one must learn to unclench, and in unclenching discover true strength. There is a moment before every storm when the air grows heavy and still. To the untrained eye, it looks like nothing is happening. But within that stillness, forces are gathering, aligning, preparing to release their full power. The same is true for the path of transformation. Before the breakthrough, silence is demanded. For the chosen ones, this silence is not simply the absence of words. It is the guarding of the tongue, the protection of energy, the watchfulness over thoughts. In Shaolin tradition, the disciple learns that every word spoken is an arrow released. Once it leaves the bow, it cannot return. Idle speech scatters energy like leaves in the wind, while measured silence keeps power contained, ready for the moment it is needed. Stillness is often mistaken for passivity, yet nothing could be further from the truth. In stillness, the blade is sharpened. The warrior does not rush into battle swinging wildly. He waits, breath steady, mind clear, spirit aligned. Each pause, each moment of restraint is an act of discipline that prepares him for decisive action. Ancient masters taught that silence is the furnace where the spirit is tempered. Without it, the fire of the mind burns uncontrolled, consuming clarity. With it, the fire is directed, refined, and transformed into unwavering focus. This is why those walking the narrow path are called to guard their inner state with vigilance. The chosen one who learns this discipline begins to move differently. Words carry weight. Actions arise from intention. Even the gaze becomes steady, reflecting an inner calm that others cannot explain. Such is the quiet strength of stillness. It does not announce itself, yet it commands presence. It is the preparation that makes transformation inevitable. The moon moves through phases, each one casting light and shadow in shifting patterns. In the same way, the mind carries its own cycles, moments of clarity, moments clouded by illusion. The next phase of the moon does not only mark a change in the sky, it mirrors the battlefield within, where the chosen one must face the restless movements of thought. Shaolin wisdom warns that an untrained mind becomes a prison. Thoughts repeat like chains clinking against stone. Doubts echo louder than truth. Desires disguise themselves as needs, and fears grow larger than they are. Without discipline, the mind convinces the spirit that it is small, powerless, and trapped. This is the cage built not by the world but by one's own thinking. Yet the same mind, when guided, becomes a gateway to freedom. The masters of old taught that mastery begins not with the body, but with thought itself. To direct the mind is to reclaim the key to the cage. Breath becomes the guide, awareness the guard, discipline the sword. Each time a stray thought arises, the trained one does not follow it blindly. Instead, he observes, redirects, and chooses. Consider a river with no banks. It floods, drowning the land. But when guided by firm edges, the same river nourishes everything in its path. The mind works the same way. Without training, it overflows with illusions. With mastery, it becomes a source of clarity and power. This is the battle the chosen one must face in silence, not against enemies outside, but against illusions within. The moon's shifting light reveals this truth. Your reality bends not by chance, but by the direction of your own thought. Master the mind, and the cage falls away. There is a rhythm more ancient than words, more constant than thought. It is the breath. Every inhale is receiving life. Every exhale is letting go. This cycle, so simple that it is often ignored, is the very foundation of mastery. When the world shifts and energies around you grow unsettled, breath is the anchor. It brings the wandering spirit back into the body. Inhaling, you receive strength, clarity, and renewal. Exhaling, you release tension, fear, and all that no longer serves. The rhythm teaches balance, taking and giving, holding and releasing, rising and falling. In Shaolin practice, breath is never left to chance. The monk learns that when breath is shallow, the mind grows restless. When breath is broken, the body weakens. But when breath flows steady and deep, emotions settle, thoughts clear, and spirit aligns with silence. Controlled breath is not about force. It is about awareness, watching the rise and fall, allowing the flow to cleanse and steady. Stories are told of masters who could slow their breath so deeply that their presence alone calmed storms within their students. Their strength was not in display, but in the quiet discipline of every inhale and exhale. This is the power of one who rules the inner world. To breathe with awareness is to stand firm in the midst of change. The moon may shift, energies may stir, illusions may rise, but the chosen one who anchors in breath cannot be easily shaken. Each inhale gathers life. Each exhale frees the spirit. In this rhythm lies the unspoken truth. Mastery does not begin in grand acts, but in the quiet cycles repeated with devotion, moment after moment, breath after breath. When the moon shifts, tides rise and fall, and so too does the inner tide of human desire. Cravings surface without warning. Old habits return. Distractions multiply. Emotional impulses feel stronger than reason. Many are carried away by this current, swept into choices that later bind them with regret. The Shaolin path teaches another way. Discipline is the root of freedom. To live by principle, not compulsion, is the mark of true mastery. The body may hunger, the heart may yearn, the mind may scatter, yet the disciplined one stands unmoved. He does not deny desire exists, but he refuses to bow to it. Discipline is not suppression, it is guidance. It is the art of directing energy toward what serves the higher path, instead of what drains it. Consider the archer in training. The target is far, the wind shifts, his hand trembles, yet he does not release the arrow until his breath is steady, his stance grounded, his focus sharp. If he acted on impulse, the arrow would miss. Discipline teaches him to wait, to act only when the moment is aligned. Life requires the same patience. The chosen ones must resist the pull of worldly noise, for it is designed to scatter attention and weaken resolve. Temptations will come in the form of comfort, distraction, and false urgency, but the one who keeps alignment remains centered, like the mountain unmoved by passing clouds. This is the challenge of every lunar shift, to not be ruled by cravings or impulses, but to move by principle, to stand steady while others sway. Discipline becomes the shield, guarding the chosen one from being lost in the noise and guiding them deeper into clarity, strength, and true freedom. The moon does not reveal its fullness at once. Night by night, its light grows almost unnoticed, until suddenly the sky is crowned with its brilliance. In the same way, true growth is hidden, quiet, subtle, almost invisible. But when the time comes, it cannot be denied. The path of mastery is not built on what others see. It is formed in the hours of silent effort, the moments no one praises, the battles fought within the self. Shaolin monks call this invisible practice. It is the training that leaves no immediate mark, yet shapes the foundation of strength, a steady breath at dawn. A single movement repeated 1,000 times, a thought corrected before it hardens into habit. Small acts, performed in silence, that build a fortress within. The world often chases recognition, quick results, the applause of others, but the ancient path warns against this hunger. A tree does not rush its roots, though no eye can see them. The deeper they grow, the stronger the trunk becomes, able to withstand the fiercest storm. The chosen one learns to embrace this hidden labor, knowing that the unseen is more important than the seen. When growth is quiet, it cannot be stolen. When strength is built in silence, it cannot be shaken. Invisible practice creates power that does not boast, yet reveals itself when life demands it. Just as the moon, once hidden, emerges into fullness, the chosen one's hidden discipline will shine at the appointed time. This is the way of true mastery, to work without needing to be noticed, to grow without needing to display, and to trust that what is cultivated in silence will one day speak louder than words ever could. The turning of the moon does more than shift the tides of the sea. It stirs the currents of energy within the human spirit. For the chosen one, these moments carry heightened power, but also heightened risk. Energy, when scattered through conflict, fear, or restless thought, drains the body and clouds the mind. What could have been strength becomes weakness. What could have been clarity dissolves into confusion. Shaolin wisdom teaches that energy must be guarded like a flame in the wind. Every argument, every anxious thought, every wasted hour feeds the storm that extinguishes it. Yet when energy is redirected with mindfulness, it transforms. Prayer channels it into devotion. Meditation gathers it into stillness. Movement, whether a disciplined form or a simple breath, circulates it until the body feels renewed. These practices do not consume energy, they refine it, turning what is raw into something luminous. The masters of old often spoke of leaking energy. It is the small, unnoticed ways power slips away, idle complaints, chasing distractions, feeding resentments. One leak may seem small, but over time it empties the vessel. Self-mastery begins when the chosen one notices these leaks and seals them with discipline, silence instead of argument, focus instead of distraction, gratitude instead of resentment. Think of water poured into sand. It disappears. But water poured into a vessel is stored, preserved, and useful. So too with energy. Directed with purpose, it becomes strength, resilience, even wisdom. The lunar cycle amplifies what is already within. If energy is wasted, weakness grows. If energy is preserved and redirected, power multiplies. The chosen path is not about gaining more, but about holding and refining what has already been given. This is the essence of inner mastery. When the moonlight changes, shadows stretch across the earth. Corners once hidden become clear, and forms once unseen reveal themselves. This same truth lives within. As cycles shift, the light of awareness grows stronger, and with it the shadows of the self appear, fears long buried, wounds carried silently, desires disguised as strength. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the shadow is not an enemy to destroy, but a teacher to face. Running only gives it power. Denying only makes it grow darker. To confront the shadow is to step into the unknown chambers of the heart, where truth and illusion often blend. The chosen one does not turn away. He sits in silence, breath steady, gaze inward, until the shadow begins to reveal its lessons. Every fear has a root. Every wound carries a story. Every hidden desire points to a longing misunderstood. When faced with courage, these shadows lose their power to control. Fear becomes clarity, teaching what boundaries must be set. Wounds become strength, reminding the spirit of what it has survived. Desires, when understood, transform into direction, guiding the chosen one toward higher purpose. Think of a mirror cracked in darkness. It reflects nothing. But when light shines, even the cracks reveal their shape. The shadow is that mirror. It shows where healing is needed, where discipline must be strengthened, where compassion must be extended. Without acknowledging it, one remains divided. With confrontation, wholeness becomes possible. The chosen path is not about escaping darkness, but walking through it with steady steps. Shadows will always appear when the light shifts, yet those who face them find wisdom hidden in their depth. In this way, the shadow ceases to haunt and begins to guide. The moon carries no light of its own. Its glow is borrowed from the sun, yet in the quiet of night, it becomes the lamp for all who walk in darkness. This is the lesson of reflection. Just as the moon reflects the sun, the chosen one reflects the divine will. To walk in this alignment is to understand that power is not always in creating, but in receiving and transmitting. The vessel does not struggle to invent water. It simply holds it, carries it, and makes it useful. In the same way, the chosen one learns to empty pride, to empty noise, to empty distraction, so that divine light may fill them without distortion. Alignment is not a dramatic moment. It is a discipline. Through silence, breath, prayer, and mindful living, the inner self is polished like a mirror. When the surface is clear, it reflects truth without bending it. When it is clouded by fear or desire, the reflection is broken and clarity is lost. Shaolin wisdom reminds us that polishing the mirror of the self is a daily practice. Reality shifts not because the world has suddenly changed, but because perception has been purified. Where others see chaos, the aligned one sees order. Where others see only darkness, the aligned one carries light. This is why presence alone can alter a room. The chosen one need not speak much. Their steadiness itself becomes guidance for those around them. The moon teaches that reflection is enough. To be steady in silence, luminous in stillness, and faithful to the source of light. The chosen one who lives in such rhythm does not force reality to bend. Instead, reality bends naturally, drawn into harmony with the higher order they embody. True mastery rarely announces itself with drums or fire. It is not born from grand displays or elaborate rituals. Instead, it is woven quietly into the fabric of daily life, thread by thread, choice by choice. The ancients understood that greatness rests on simple foundations. Without them, the higher structures of wisdom cannot stand. Silence, for instance, is a practice of strength. To withdraw from noise, even for a few breaths, is to let the spirit rest and reset. In those quiet moments, the mind clears, and what is hidden beneath the surface becomes visible. Mindful steps are another form of discipline. Walking without haste, feeling each movement, grounding the body into the earth. This practice teaches presence. It turns an ordinary act into a meditation, a reminder that life is not only about reaching the destination, but also about awareness of the path. A pure meal, taken with gratitude, becomes more than food. It is fuel for body and spirit, a reminder that what enters the vessel shapes its strength. Eating with attention transforms a simple act into an offering, aligning body with clarity. Gratitude itself is a quiet master. It softens restlessness, dissolves envy, and strengthens the heart against despair. To whisper thanks each day, even for the smallest blessings, builds a fortress no storm can easily breach. These are not grand gestures. They require no witness, no applause, yet practiced daily, they form unshakable foundations. Like stones laid carefully, one upon another, they create the ground on which transformation stands. The chosen one who honors these simple acts does not need to chase strength. It grows naturally, steady and enduring, ready for the shift when it arrives. The moon reminds us that life moves in cycles, each phase carrying its own lesson. This next shift is not meant to unsettle you, but to guide you back to discipline, silence, and alignment. By releasing what is heavy, guarding your energy, breathing with awareness, and meeting your own shadow with courage, you step into the path of quiet strength. Shaolin wisdom teaches that mastery is not loud or hurried. It is built in silence, in small daily acts, in the steadiness of one who chooses principle over impulse. When you honor these cycles, the change begins within, and in time, the outer world will reflect that inner transformation. Carry these teachings into your days. Walk mindfully, speak with care, and let gratitude steady your spirit. In doing so, you will not just witness the shift, you will embody it. Thank you for sharing this time with us. May you move into the next phase with clarity and peace. This is Shaolin Soulfire. If these words spoke to you, we invite you to like this video and subscribe so you can continue walking this path with us.